Sagittarius. It looks like you are walking away from something that seems really difficult to walk away from. I feel like you're putting an ending to a cycle. And I feel like whatever the cycle is that you're ending feels quite hard to end. You may feel like you're still attached to it in some way. You may feel like you still have some type of tie, or it may have an energetic hold on you in some way. I'm seeing that you're coming to some type of truth around how this has hurt you, how this has caused you a lot of pain. And again, I feel like you feel attached to it, but you understand, it's like you understand that whatever this attachment is, it's not good for you. Maybe it once was, or maybe you thought it once could be, but it seems like it's not anymore. And I don't know if it's a person or a role you're walking away from, but it does feel quite challenging because I am feeling some grief that's coming from this. And I feel like there was some type of deceit. It feels like there's some type of deceit that you're walking away from. It could be inner deceit or someone on the outside of you that's being deceitful. I have to look into the tarot to see more specifically on what that is. But I'm getting this feeling from you that you're tired of dealing in situations that are this smoke card. Like everything's kind of foggy. You don't really know what's going on. You don't want to deal with unclear situations. It's like, I keep hearing like, I'm tired of dealing with unclear situations. I really want to focus on myself. This has been a very grueling process of having to walk away from this. And again, I do feel like I'm seeing the devil on the bottom of the deck. And the devil is the things that we're attached to that are negative coping mechanisms. But in the moment, they feel really soothing, and they can, and a lot of times, the devil comes like as an attachment to something that we're really looking for, an attachment to something real, but we think it's that thing. We think it's real, but really it's not long lasting, and there's not like a deep sense of resonance, or a deep sense of feeling like you are empowered. It will feel like you're making a move out of fear to go back to this, whatever this is. But I do feel like whatever you're walking away from, you've had to really break down and reevaluate why you're attached to it. And I feel like you possibly could be doing a lot of work, healing work, not just around leaving and breaking down whatever this is, but also deeper inner work on like whatever this attachment is. So like the attachment to this thing is one thing. Then below that attachment is another attachment. So you may be finding there's an attachment to the past that's helping this thing that you're trying to leave. I'm trying to get this right. Ugh, I lost it. You're trying to figure out why you're attached to this. You're going deep within to look at the past to see where this attachment originated from. Like the original wound is what I'm talking about. You're going back to the original wound. And that could be childhood stuff. Even what could it be? I'm feeling like it's, for a lot of you, I feel like it's childhood stuff, or just really bad things that have happened to you for some reason. I don't know. I want to get a little bit more into the tarot and see what else I get that will come through. The Lovers. Some of you could be walking away from a person. And the Lovers is a choice card. So you could still be trying to figure out if you're gonna choose to walk away from this. I feel like most of you know the answer to this. I feel like it's just really hard to do. It's like you may know it's the right thing to do, and you may know it's right for you, but that doesn't take away from all the feelings that come up from having to walk away from something that once served you, or even still in some small ways may still be serving you. I think it's really hard to disentangle yourself from this, is what I'm getting. It feels sticky to me. The Lovers. It's the Lovers. Three of Pentacles. You could still have an ongoing collaboration with this right now. You might have pulled back your energy, is what I'm seeing, already. But you may still have like a slight collaboration going with this thing or person or this role. And you're going slowly. The High Priestess. What's the High Priestess? The Hermit. Wow, you're going really, really inward here. I think you're looking at like, okay, why do I even still have a collaboration with this person when it's like, when I feel like it's hurting me, when I feel like it's something I need to really like release fully. And you're looking intuitively at like, do is it good that I'm moving slowly? I feel you feel intuitively called to move slowly. And even if, I don't know, there's something about survival here a little bit, and maybe keeping the tie open because you're afraid of, I don't know, there's some type of survival time I'm feeling here. And a little bit of this disassociation as well. So again, if you're feeling a survival tie to somebody and disassociation with it, it usually points to deeper traumas that we have that keep us attached to like a person in like current times. Like a lot of times we'll have a familiar, like, okay, so like you, let's say if this is a person that you're in a relationship with, you have the relationship happening, it feels really familiar to you, you're really excited about it at one point, you think it's going to be everything you could ever want, and then when you get deeper into it, it just it's like wonky, it's not working, you feel drained, you start to feel like this person's not really the person you thought they were, or maybe they are, but it's not working, it's not compatible in some way, and then you start feeling like you don't know if you can if this is going to be, I don't know how to explain, where am I going with the spirit guides? I feel like the main issue, not the main issue, but the main thing I'm getting here is that I feel like you're realizing the attachment you have to this thing has roots and ties to the past, whether that's from childhood or not. And I feel like you're going within and looking at that and trying to clear the original wound. I said this, but I feel like it's important to say it again. You're trying to clear the original wound. I don't know why I was going on the other storyline. I don't know if that's just one of your stories, but I felt like I got to a part of the storyline and I felt like I shouldn't keep going for some reason. I don't know what that was. You really want to move forward. I feel like the most important thing out of this whole thing is that you really want to move forward. But I do feel like, so there's this resin card beneath this. Resin is what comes out of something that lasts a long time, and it's a sticky substance. And so you may be trying to clear the stickiness of your energy in some way. I'm seeing you do like either energetic clearing, emotional processing, trauma healing, somatic healing, Reiki. I mean, I'm getting that kind of energy coming through. I'm really trying to like extract this this pain that you're having, because I feel like it may be attached to a current situation, yes, but I do feel like the pain that you're feeling, you feel could be tied to the past. And I feel like you're doing a lot of work and trying to heal the original wound to get to the point where you can really fully release this person, situation, role, because I do feel like we have gray cards here, but underneath these cards we have the Destroyer and Resin and Thanatos, which is death, like endings of things falling around you, things crumbling, you deciding to move on from things, you deciding to process what you're feeling and try, because I feel like you really want to step into a new phase of your life. I'm getting like that this feels to you, you may feel like this is an older energy that like you just want to get rid of, like an older energy that you just can't quite separate yourself from fully. But I do feel like you've done a lot of work in separating yourself already, and so I feel the ties that you're looking at, it feels like you're getting so close to like truly ending things. Yeah, that's what I'm feeling. Okay, the Chariot. What's the Chariot? Ace of Swords. I was feeling this earlier, like you may have had some type of truth, because we have Gnosis, which is like mystical truth, and then we have the Ace of Swords, which is like a major epiphany, a breakthrough, a truth around understanding the conflict in you moving forward. And I feel like you are learning about like, okay, what is that conflict within me that feels like I can't move forward? And then you come to an awareness, like, I don't know, you realize something about moving forward, why it was so hard to move forward. You learn something about why you had an inner conflict on moving forward. And now you're like nurturing that, like you're showing up for that conflict, and whatever that conflict is, you're trying to create resolution within you so that you can move forward, is what I'm seeing. This is so good. I know that this would feel extremely painful to you, but this is so good. Like, and I don't mean like this is good as in like it's good. I mean, it's like, I feel like you might have felt like you were stuck for a long time, and you finally, I feel like, came to this point, a breaking point even, of like realizing that you needed to get out of something because it was really hurting you and you didn't know why you couldn't get out of it. And so you came to this breaking point of like, what do I need to face within me that is stopping me from making the empowered choice to move forward? And I feel like now you've been like healing and looking at it and processing and going within and intuitively really like getting more connected with your intuition and how you move. And really look, because I do feel like it's interesting, because I feel like I'm getting this message of like, yes, Sagittarius is our, I feel like Sagittarius is like have an easier time, not easier, easier is not the right word, are better at moving on than most people. Not easier, better at it, like better at like understanding the higher form of things and like being able to move in that way. But for some reason I feel like this one was different. That's what I'm getting. And I feel like you learned something really important about yourself. Like you learned something about your wounding, you learned something about your strength, you learned something about your resilience through this. And that's why I feel like it is good, because I feel like you have learned a lot. You are growing a lot. This is a lot to hold, and you're showing up for yourself, even though it feels really difficult to do so. And I think it feels difficult to do so because I feel like there's so many feelings here for some reason. We have 6 of Swords and Ace of Pentacles. Yes, like I see you moving to calmer waters to try to create a new opportunity. I just like, it's interesting it's on the Smoke card. I wonder if you like don't know how this next phase is going to go. And I do feel like you're coming from a tough cycle, even though I don't really see it. I see it in the cards, but only in the underneath cards, and I don't know why that's being highlighted to me. Maybe you're not like telling anybody about what's really going on. Like maybe it looks a certain way on the surface and you're keeping like what's really going on with you underneath the wraps. Like I feel like you're going through a major transformation. You're walking away from people, rules, situations, identities that don't serve you. You're feeling so many things. You're thinking about your future. You're trying to be healthy in the way that you move. You're trying to resolve any conflict within you. You're trying to grow and grow in the way where you move forward and move to calmer waters and create new opportunities for yourself. And actually, I do feel you have an opportunity here in some way. Justice, yeah, it's like it's your justice. It's your justice, and it is a form of rebalancing for you to move forward. You would feel that this would be the aligned choice to make to move forward. You would feel it is your justice to move on from this. Like I don't know what happened. But I do feel like you may have been in a situation that was quite unbalanced, and you may have been dealing with it for a minute or a while. I'm getting like a while for some of you, and I'm getting like a few months for other of you, but it doesn't really matter the timeline. It feels like it wasn't balanced, and I think that you had a lot of high hopes for the situation, and it just like didn't pan out the way that you thought it would. And I do feel like your justice is to move on from this. And I think that's an encouraging message from your guides. Like, but I already feel like you know that. Like, I already feel like you kind of like are like, yeah, I know that. Like, that's something that you've been coming to. And I don't think it's an easy thing to come to, right? Because it's really hard to realize that we've grown past certain situations. Even if we know it's right for us to move on, it's really hard to do because it's familiar and it's comforting, and then you might have to be alone for a while, or you might not know what you're doing for the next however long. It's hard to know the future when you move on from things because you don't know what's coming next, you know? And I know that's partly exciting, but it's also really scary, especially for our egos. We got Mother of Pentacles, which is Queen of Pentacles. I think you're really focusing on like nurturing yourself. Yes, there we go. There's the 8 of Cups. I'm like, you're walking away from something. And then we have, it's like you're walking away from, it's like you're growing through this walking away somehow. I'm seeing like the Mother of Cups is Queen of Cups. The Mother of Pentacles is Queen of Pentacles. It's smushed between the 8 of Cups. It's like, you know that to be emotionally okay and to be financially and stable, just in stable in general, not just financial stability, but just to be stable in general, to feel like you have a handle on things, to feel like you are empowered, to feel like you are feeling worthy, to feel like you feel emotionally okay. Like you have to walk away from this to have these two things, to feel empowered, to feel like your masculine energy maybe okay right now, but I feel like your feminine energy is really affected by this, or this person or the situation, and has been affected by this. But I feel like you've had to grow both of your Queen of Cups and Queen of Pentacles to walk away from this. And that's what I'm saying. I feel like you've grown so much, and it was your justice to grow in this way. I just think that you didn't understand, like at first we don't really know like where a certain relationship's going to go. And I do feel like, again, I keep feeling like you had high hopes for the situation. Daughter of Cups. Yeah, and see, that's what I'm saying. I feel like a lot of you are taking care of your inner child. Like I feel like a lot of you are trying to show up for your inner child in a very kind, emotionally stable, compassionate, protective way. And I feel like that is helping you in leaps and bounds with this walking away. Like, I feel like if you weren't showing up maybe you weren't showing up for your inner child for a long time. And I feel like through the situation, you were learning how to show up for your inner child, or even just other, like, even just, it doesn't have to be inner child. It can be inexperienced parts of you. It can be parts of you that feel afraid. It can be parts of you that feel doubtful of yourself. And I feel like you had to, again, grow. I feel like you've gained so much strength through this. I really do. And it's not, again, it's strength born through fire, through pain, through, yeah, like major ending to a cycle. I'm seeing that this was one of your Saturn lessons. And I do feel, I know the devil hasn't come out, but it came out for the pre-shuffle, and it was coming out on the bottom of the deck. So I do feel like a lot of you could be walking away from negative coping mechanism, a person that was, a person that became a coping mechanism, right? But also like a person that really meant a lot to you, a role that really meant a lot to you, a job that really meant a lot to you, but it had remnants of either unhealthiness, or it wasn't long lasting, it wasn't compatible, maybe it had deceit or betrayal attached to it. I'm not getting that, which is what's interesting. What I'm getting is I'm seeing your intuition is strengthening through this. So is your hermit energy, which is your ability to go within and see clearly and really like show up for yourself in a very mature and healthy way. You are now having a breakthrough, and I'm seeing it as like this lightning of truth around why you've had such a hard time moving forward. And I don't see why you've had such a hard time moving forward. I just know that you've had a hard time moving forward. It's like I'm getting some of the messages, but I feel like maybe they're just like different for all of you. Like this conflict within all of you might have been so different that like I'm getting it's just a conflict that you needed to resolve. But I can't tell you. It feels like a really difficult conflict that you had to resolve. And it feels like one that might have taken you a minute to resolve. It doesn't have to be, but that's kind of the way I'm getting it. And I do want to say your spirit guides want you to honor all of your feelings that are coming with us. I'm getting this feeling from you like, I really want to start a cycle in a way that I never have before. I really want to heal my trauma in a way that I never have before. I am showing up for myself in a way that I never have before. I am loving myself in a new way. I am like knowing that I must deal with all of this now, and like kind of like I'm seeing you like wrap a bow on it, like, but it's not like so a lot of people will like have a relationship, leave that person, and get right into another relationship and not even look at the trauma or look at the grief or even deal with it, process it, and then just like get another relationship and do that. Maybe that's something you experienced before. I don't know. But what I'm saying is, you don't want to do that. You are like, I know that if I really dig and process and love myself as fully as possible, then this new cycle will be nothing like anything I've ever had before. And I feel like that's something that you're really paying attention to. And I think that's why, and again, I don't know if you've ever experienced like whatever you're leaving behind, it feels different, like than something you've ever experienced before. It doesn't feel like the same way you used to do it. It feels different to me. We have 9 of Swords. This, and again, I'm seeing this as like your resin. Like this is what you're clearing out. You see how like you have so many beautiful cards, and then this is like so painful. Like how painful this card looks. And it's like I'm seeing you like go in, as this is like the resin I'm saying. You go in and like clear all of this out. Like, and you could be, again, I keep hearing like somatic healing, Reiki, even EMDR, or parts work, or any kind of trauma, spiritual healing, any type. I'm talking any type. That's what I'm seeing you do. And you're clearing this out, this fear. You've been clearing this out. Maybe that was what one of the conflicts was. I feel like there was maybe more than one conflict with this. Okay. What's the advice for Sagittarius? I don't know if this is going to go in reverse, but it's 10 of Wands. 10 of Wands. Daughter of Swords, which is Page of Swords. Keep collecting information about 6 of Pentacles. We have 7 of Swords. There it is. 5 of Swords. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I feel like there was some type of deceit. Spirit's saying keep collecting information about how overburdened you were in this equal give and take, because we have equal give and take, but it's literally by the 2 deceit cards in the whole deck. Like, you're still collecting information about how you were deceived, and how you were deceived and how you were made to think that this was equal give and take. And Spirit's just drawing attention to the fact that this situation that you are leaving behind was not equal give and take. And I feel like you're still coming to terms with that. But I do feel like this last cycle that you're leaving behind asked so much of you, so much energy, so much time, so much effort. And I feel like you were so overburdened. And I also feel simultaneously, you were probably overburdened partly because whoever this was, this person or the situation, was actively deceiving you and actively trying to win at all costs. What is the 7 of Swords and 5 of Swords? I need to see what this is. What is this? It could be a person. It could be a job. It could be a toxic workplace. It could be... Okay, so I'm seeing Emperor. So... What do you... Okay, I want one more because I'm getting 2 messages for the Emperor. Hold on. Emperor and the Fool. Hold on. Is the Emperor meant to be with the 7 of Swords and the 5 of Swords? Daughter of Wands, Page of Wands. I'm getting it like, well, I'm getting it differently now. Okay, some of you could have been dealing with someone who was acting like they were an emperor, but they really were like controlling, dictating, aggressive. Some could be aggressive, doesn't have to be. Some of you weren't dealing with this person. Some of you had like a workplace that was like acting as like an emperor, but really had like hidden motives going on, hidden deceit, competition, right? It doesn't have to be that, but I'm getting that message. I'm also simultaneously getting, once you process this overwhelm and really like integrate how this really was, like what the truth of this really was, because there was so much to see. It looks like around it, like with that smoke card, there was so much to see around it that it was like even hard for you to grasp. And I feel like you could have realized some of this to see, or some truth came around to it, or you came to understanding in a different way than you had, which is helping you break it down and leave it behind. But it was, what was I going to say? But it was challenging because it was so hidden. There's so many hidden things going on, it looks like. And it was challenging because it looked like equal give and take, but it really wasn't. And I think for a long time, or maybe just a little bit of time, you thought it was equal give and take. But then over time, you started realizing like this is actually not at all equal give and take. And there's some hidden stuff going on around here. And they are not holding me in like, and I'm doing everything I can. And I'm still being met with like this. This is what I'm being met with, is kind of the feeling I'm getting. And Spirit's saying once you process all of this, you are stepping as an emperor, like a real emperor, not a fake one, into a new beginning. And it's and you're going to be excited again. This would have like hurt your fire energy. Look, Strength in the Moon. Okay, so Strength in the Moon is challenges that come from our subconscious, challenges that come from the hidden things that we need to discern. The strength is Leo, which is the sun. And when you have the sun and the moon, that's like bringing light to darkness, bringing light to hidden situations. You might have learned a lot through this last cycle, like discernment. Your intuition might have become really strong. And I'm also seeing your strength, specifically your Leo energy, become very strong in this. Like, dealing with all your fears, dealing with all the things that come up within our subconscious anytime, like from the past, from this current situation. This is a lot to go through. You might have felt, I'm hearing emotionally overloaded by this. And I'm seeing you really stand up for yourself and truly stand up for yourself in a way where you have done so much healing work to stand up for yourself even. Like you may have never been in a situation where you've dealt with this much deceit or this much weird hidden energy, and like you had to really learn a lot about them, but more about yourself, I think, and how people move through this. I think you got a crash course. I'm getting this weird message, like you got a crash course in what deceit is and what discernment is, for some reason. It's probably just so that you could be more aware of them. But I just want to say, like, that's not through an easy, I know what that's like. I've experienced that, and it is not fun. It is so not fun. But this is helping you learn how to step into your power and learning how to properly close things down, because I do feel like you've learned so much about yourself, and it's because I think you had to face yourself in a very real and different way than you ever have before. And it's because you needed to dig in your subconscious and really see yourself as you are, and see all the hidden and shamed parts, and love them all, and the doubtful and the fearful parts, to really break down why you were still standing for this or still even collaborating with it. And you may still be in the process of doing all this, but I see you walking away and stepping into a new beginning and standing in your power. And I feel like this is a huge, huge thing that is going to like change you in a way that is so good for you for the rest of your life. And again, I want to honor, like, that's not through an easy way. That was through very painful, very, very, very painful circumstance, and a very, very not right. It feels like it wasn't right. Like something off. Like it's just like out of the integrity of this was off. There was no honor. I'm hearing there's no honor among thieves. Interesting. I don't know. Maybe someone stole from you. I don't know. Energy, time, quality, finances, time. I'm hearing time, like a lot of time, possibly for a lot of you. Even your quality energy, you know. But you're moving through this. You're doing so good. Okay, I want to get final advice. My nose has been itching so much through the situation. Interesting. Through this reading. I'm gonna get these advice cards. Okay. This is a lot. Spirit's saying if leaving this behind leaves you a little bit isolated, that's not going to last forever. Okay, let's see. Is there any other final advice or encouraging words you have for Sagittarius, spirit guides? Yes, have acceptance over the fact that this was a facade. Like, I think that's hard to wrap your head around. It's like really hard to wrap. I think that's really hard for most people to wrap their heads around, especially if you're not acting in this way, especially if you're not like this. I mean, of course we all have masks we wear. I'm not saying that. I'm talking about like purposeful facade. I'm talking about like active deception. I'm talking about someone who's trying to deceive you. And I think that it's really hard to have acceptance over the fact this was the facade. And it's not like you were duped. I think you just learned very deep hidden energies, and you had to face a lot of your own self to do it. Like, you had to see all of the ways a human would hide themselves. Like, I don't know why. Like, that's so interesting the way that came through. There's some big reason that you needed to learn how to read energies, I feel like, for the next cycle. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a really good thing. Like, it could help you in your business. It can help you staying away from people like this. It can help you learn what people you do want to attract in. There's many ways this could show up in a way that will help you. Like, this will help you for the rest of your life. And again, it's not through an easy situation. And I do feel like it's hard to have acceptance over the fact that someone would do something like this, or that there was this type of facade around something. Like, really? Like, you know what I mean? And I think it's hard to have acceptance because it's like, it's hard to accept that someone would do that to us. And keep praying. Keep praying. Your guides are listening. Your guides are so here for you. You're not alone. And you are growing so much. That's what I'm saying. You're growing so much. And again, I want to say, I think it's important. Like, I feel like you're like, it's really important that I really close this out fully, that I really process everything, that I really feel all my feelings, everything that I'm feeling. I feel like give yourself permission to feel all of it. Like, and I think that's what you've learned through this, like what you really feel, what the truth of everything is, what the reality of situations are, how you're feeling, how you're responding, how everyone else is responding. Okay, any other final advice for Sagittarius? Service and abundance. That's what I'm saying. I feel like you reading energy and learning whatever you learn in the cycle. It doesn't have to just be reading energy. I'm sure there's many more things you've learned. Whatever you have learned is going to bring you abundance. That's what I'm seeing. And I feel like you might be doing some type of service work that's going to bring you abundance. Like, you could be becoming famous. You could be becoming a leader, because I feel like whatever this was a huge, I'm hearing a light code, like you got a light code, or you learned a way of healing, or you learned something really, really important that most people don't learn, and now you're able to teach it, and it's rare and it needs to be taught, and people need to hear it. People need to learn. Either you're talking to friends, or it doesn't have to be a job, but I do feel like whatever you've been learning is bringing you abundance, as well as I do feel like you could be helping other people with this type of situation, or just in some way it's helping you. I don't know what that way is, but it's going to bring you abundance. And I feel like this new chapter that you're stepping into, you are not the same person you were. I feel like you may feel very different than you did when you first started this, whatever this was. Oh my gosh, Sag, I love you so much. Keep going. Do not give up. You're doing great. You've got this. Feel all your feelings, process this, and step into your new beginning, because you so deserve it. You really do. Okay, guys, thank you so much. I think that's all I have for you, and I will see you guys next time.